Your 10 minutes starts now.
This is Ate Sao. She is a millennial mother and she's also the family breadwinner. Her salary is just enough to make ends meet for her own family. And however, she borrows money from different sources because she is obliged to help her parents and her siblings. And Ate Sao is not alone. She is one of the respondents which we interviewed from ages 28 to 45, whose debts are not below 5,000 pesos. And given these problems and the anxiety caused by borrowing, this leads to different mental health problems which they have been experiencing as of the moment.
The solution is a financial companion which will lift the unbanked, low-income sector out of debt. Introducing Debt-Free PH, envisioning a debt-literate country. Debt-Free PH is an offline mobile application which aims to aid fellow Filipino individuals and businesses in managing and financing debts efficiently and effectively. We target the SDGs 1, 8, and 11. What?
Hello, welcome to Debt Free PH. To start your journey with us, we would be asking you to create an account which would contain your name, your email address, and your own password. Next, we would be asking for other information such as your region, your city, your contact number, and your birthday. Next, we would be asking you for your preferred language choice, be it in English or in Tagalog. After which, this will lead you to our menu, which would contain all the features of the application. For the loan calculator to work, we need to select all the information available to compute for the loan. So if you have the data on the amount borrowed and the interest rate, this is where you will be inputting them. After which, all numbers will be supplied through this web page, which after would compute for the loan. Next would be the loan strategist, wherein you would be strategizing on your preferred payment of loan. For the loan strategy, you would be needing to fill out the table by putting out the strategy name, amount allocated, and the type of approach to be used. And to add debt, need to click Add Debt. After which, you would be needing to supply all the information available, and then click Add Debt to add it to the list of debts. Then there you have it. After which, you would see here which ones or which debts you need to pay for first. Lastly would be the loan list. The loan list will help you to keep track of all of your debts that are paid and unpaid. And that's it for the product demonstration.
So what separates Debt-Free PH from other fintech companies? First, we are in every step of the customer's journey through loan computing technologies offered through our offline mobile app. We also want to provide opportunities for the unbanked sector to access formal loans through loan consultation, portfolio building, and credit scoring. And finally, we want to provide low interest rates to the unbanked sector through ethical lending. Next slide, please.
For the company's business models, our pillars of kaagapay, pagbangon, and pagbabago will serve as our guides in the short, the medium, and the long run. And we believe that to achieve the goal of becoming a debt-literate country, we cannot do this alone, but instead, we will be needing the help of our target market, our key partners, and our beneficiaries under our community reinvestment. If you would see under this presentation here, you would see that all our stakeholders for Debt PPH are interconnected, with the target market making use of Debt PPH to make sound decisions when paying for debts. Next, Debt PPH will analyze this behavior, and once analyzed, the information gathered will be given to non-government organizations, insurance companies, and other financial institutions. By doing such, we believe that we are able to aid them to come up with different financial services, products, and different initiatives that will not only benefit our target market, but also our beneficiaries found in our community reinvestment below.
And so for the revenue streams, the revenue streams of the business will stem from the following. Firstly, for the kaagapay, the revenue sources will revolve around ad revenues up to the freemium revenue model, in which these comprise of 40% of the business's overall revenue. Secondly, for the pagbangon, this will consist of the service fees through loan consultations, portfolio evaluation, and credit scoring, and from corporate trainings and workshops, which constitute 56% of the business's overall revenue. And lastly, for the pagbabago, which covers 4% of the business's overall revenue, the revenues will be sourced to interest revenues from events and from short-term and long-term investments. Furthermore, the business expects to establish break-even in 2.75 years' time, given these revenue streams. Moreover, the business aims to reach 150,000 plus individual users, to collaborate with 90 partner companies, and work together with 250 micro, small, and medium enterprises in a span of 5 years. In terms of investment offers, our potential investors will be offered 5% of our equity for 350,000 pesos.
Our plan of action can be broken down into four key segments. The first is to expand our mentor portfolio through hackathons, competitions, and online mentoring sessions. Next, we want to develop an application which is safe and easy to use for everyone. We will be tapping into the expertise of developers for this one. While the application is being developed, we will market and brand the application through traditional marketing methods, such as posters and tarpaulins on sari-sari stores. And finally, we want to educate our potential clients through content making and press releases.
To turn this idea into reality, we are the visionaries behind the said idea. Despite having different backgrounds and despite having different degree programs in college, we do believe that we are the right people because we have the vision for the country to become debt literate. And apart from having this vision, we also believe that our common denominator as a team is that we want to help alleviate people from the poverty line. And that is what makes us the right team for this idea. We want we envision a debt literate country.
Hence, how will our application help our users? The application helps our users by ensuring access to financial products and services that is people-friendly, most especially to our target market, which is the marginalized sector, thus expanding to firms and HR departments, and eventually individuals and MSMEs. This will not only enable our users to have access to ideal loans and to be more debt literate, it will most especially build a community where we go together with our users in their journey to develop the habit of being mindful of one's debts and guide them in resolving the root of their over exceeding debt. Furthermore, with the existence of our application, it will significantly impact the quality of life of our target market and in extension, the economy itself, because firstly, it is easily accessible and is people-friendly with the application's features and modes of promotion. Secondly, it will further stimulate the financial circulation in the economy, given the continuous processing and settling of loans without over-exceeding, as the application promotes. And lastly, it will also involve itself in the gradual process of transitioning to the use of digital financial services in the country by being part of the financial ecosystem that accommodates the low-income and unbanked Filipinos. Thus living up to our goal of envisioning a debt-literate country that leaves no one behind.
This is Ate Sau. With debt-free PH, Ate Sau wouldn't have to think twice or wouldn't have to worry about which debts to pay for first. With debt-free PH, she can strategize well and she can pay for these at lower costs. And these costs that she would be saving up, she would be able to use this for the basic needs not only of her family, but also of the family she grew up with. And we are debt-free PH. Thank you so much and good afternoon.
All right, good job. Thank you to Debt Free PH from House Lannister. So to all of our judges, I just want to confirm that everyone can see their score sheets and that they all have their score sheets. Cool. Do any of the judges have questions? You can just click your raise. Sir Elmer. Okay, there you go. Sir Elmer, go ahead.
Okay.
Ay, Sir
Yeah, I'm
Eric
just
pala. Sorry, sorry. Sorry, Sir Elmer. Sir Eric pala.
okay.
Sir Eric Tomaker. Sorry.
Hi. Yeah, I am just wondering. You set an example earlier that the problem you're solving is someone who doesn't know how to pay their debt, right? Which debt to pay first. Do you consider that as the biggest problem of your target market? Is that you're solving people's priority on what debt to pay first? Is that correct? Do you think that's the
Yes.
biggest problem you're addressing?
Yes, sir. Because upon interviewing our target market, upon doing interviews since January, we've been working on this idea since January. And after interviewing, we've seen that they have that intention to pay and they'd like to pay. It's just that when they try to think of what to pay for first and how to strategize, they tend to panic first over trying to decide well and make sound decisions. And that's something we'd like to address under that PPH, sir.
Okay, thanks. So if they were to run your software, right, how much do you think you can save them? Or what do you think is like you can save them 10%? Or what is the goal?
That's a good question, sir, because that's something we've tried to assess, though we don't have it in our backup slides. But when we tried to assess, one of the common loans which we found were 5, 6, some of the debts were at 10%. And given that if we'll be able to strategize well, like those 5, 6, and those from other financial institutions, sir, we are looking into saving them at a minimum of 500 pesos, sir. That's the minimum po, sir.
Okay, thanks. Well, I'm just wondering why you need an app. I could enter it in my calculator, right? 5, 6 definitely is a high interest rate, right? So I
Yes.
definitely would pay that first. I'm trying to see what's the hard part to compute. That's why they would need a service like debt-free PH. Can you give me more insight on that?
Gerard?
The application is also a way to consolidate all of your loans, and using an algorithm which we will develop for the app, we want to aim at strategizing the payment of these loans. We can The individual can list down all his loans, but then if let's say certain factors come in, such as the emotional factors, sometimes this can be costly when looking at from an objective perspective. So when using the app, we want to be a companion for these individuals and tell them that, hey, these loans are actually more important because these are the ones which are causing most of the burden. So this is the main service that the app wants to provide.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sir
Thank you, sir.
Eric. Sir Elmer, go ahead po.
Thank you. Congratulations for the presentation. I'm curious, how did you end up finding each other as teammates? You mentioned you started working on this since January. And if so you're students now, right? If in fact you got investment, how would you juggle working on this along as a startup alongside your studies?
Okay, so to answer that question, that's an interesting question, sir, because being an economics and accounting student, I've been working on research related to debts. In fact, I've been working on papers related to this since I was on my freshman year. So from aside from working on this, I've been doing research related to it, from loans for MSMEs by lowering down interest rates, and um by and, by ensuring, because you can't really the work life balance is not really something I believe in, but more on the work life synthesis. So being able to synthesize what I do in that free PH and being able to learn about it more through my studies, I do think that I would be able to strike a balance between both. And for my teammates, I do think that they are also into the same vision. And if you're curious as to how we met in a business organization. It's called the Archers Consulting Group. So we've been into business consulting. We study on how to help businesses and how to solve problems related to business concerns. So that does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. If there are no other, Sir Justin, go ahead. Last question po.
Yeah. So at the end of the when the user uses the app, no. So do you think that they would be literate enough, meaning they will know all the options regarding debt if they use the app? Because that's the problem, right? That's the problem identified.
The app is just the start of the program Switch Debt Free plans to roll out. After the application comes the debt consulting program. And this is where we really want to connect with the consumers through face to face or online consulting. So this is like going to a doctor and consulting about what's the best way to tackle your debt and what is the best way to handle your finances. So the app is just the start. And what we really want to do to connect with the consumers is through the loan consulting program.
Okay, thank you.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Congratulations to House Lannister